Well, the moment everyone's been waiting for finally arrived. Nike officially dropped Caitlin Clark's person logo. And let me tell you, the internet has divided. Some fans are celebrating like it's Christmas morning, while others are roasting like they just got served the blandest meal their life. And honestly, that mix of hype and hate is exactly what makes this moment so fascinating. Let's start with the logo itself. On first glance, it's clean. It's sleek. If you're here for the real story and not to filter version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe. It looks like something you'd see plastered on a high-end handbag, or maybe etched into the side. A boutique sneaker is professional. It's polished. It's fine. And that's the kicker. It's fine. It doesn't slap you in the face with creativity. It doesn't scream personality. It's not Sabrina Ionesco, which feels bold and dynamic, and doesn't have ain't resist playful yet defined vibe. Caitlin logo lands somewhere in between. It's elegant, yes, but as an unforgettable, not yet. But here's the thing, logos like songs on the radio, sometimes it on grab you right away. But give a few spins and suddenly you can imagine your life without them. Caitlin logo feels like I design. It may not knock you out on day one, but with time, with contacts, with the right sneakers attached to it, it could grow into an icon. Of course, that hasn't stopped critics from sharpening their knives. Social media was flooded with hot takes the second Nike revealed it. Some called lazy of. There said it looked like something whipped up on camera in 5 minutes, and a price tag on Emergo that led to gasoline. $40 for a t-shirt with Caitlin new logo slapped on front. Fans weren't as raising eyebrows. They were throwing side eyes so hard they almost strained their necks. $40 for a tee isn't just expensive, it's scandalous, especially when you consider alternatives. Fans are pointing out they can grab MCT Hoops store shirt for $14.99 and still look fresh. Nike's pricing isn't just ambitious, it feels tone deaf, especially for fans have been waiting for years to rep Caitlin without breaking the bank. But here's the twist. Even with all the griping, the merge is still flying. Why? Because Caitlin Clark isn't just an athlete, she's a cultural force. Love the logo or hate it, people want on the movement. Owning a Caitlin shirt right now isn't about fashion. It's about planting your flag. And Caitlin Clark era, it's about saying, yeah, I was there when she blew up. And the logo is just the appetizer, the real main course. Caitlin Clark's signature shoe. Yes, you heard that right. After years of Nike fumbling the bag, after fans screaming about disrespect, after watching or draft class peers like Angel Reese group of deals and designs, Caitlin long-awaited shoe is finally coming in 2026. Now, let's pause for a second and appreciate how overdue this is. Caitlin Clark isn't just a star, she's a star. She's the one drawing millions of new eyes to the WNBA. Yeah, she's the one filling arenas, crashing broadcast ratings, and sparking debated dinner tables across the country. And yet, Nike took this long to give her signature shoe. It's absurd. It's borderline disrespectful. If she were a rookie for nominee, NBA her first pair would have dropped the day after the draft. Instead, Caitlin had to wait while the sneaker world plays catch up. That's why the announcement of her 2026 shoe feels so monumental. Is not just footwear, it's vindication. It's Nike finally saying, yeah, we get it. You're not just a star, you're the star. And the timing, oh, the timing could be delicious. Imagine Nike aligning the shoe release with the star of the WNBA season, creating a cultural event. A sneaker dropped, it sells out in minutes, and as people lining up like is Jordans in the 90s. And speaking of comparisons, let's address the elephant room. How Caitlin logo stacks up against her peers. Sabrina Ionesco logo still reigns supreme. It's sharp, modern, and instantly recognizable. Angel races it as a bold, personality-driven flair that matches or energy on and off the court. Caitlin, it's cover the in third place right now, but it's not trailing by miles. If anything, it's the kind designed to good age gracefully like a fine wine, or in sneaker terms like the Nike swoosh itself. of not flashy, not loud, but timeless. And let's not forget Io Wilson's infamous logo. Fans have not been kind. Where the funny is Burns been at it looks like a bottle opener compared to that Caitlyn logo. Feels like doer. It's not perfect, but it clears the bar. And that's already enough to keep her haters fuming, because that's the part people forget. Hate is part the process. Every iconic athlete, every iconic brand had detractors in the beginning. When George released for shoes, critics call them too flashy. When LeBron dropped his early designs, people said they were clunky. Greatness doesn't come pre-packaged with universal approval. It earns it over time. Caitlyn logo may be fine today, but slap on the side of a game-changing sneaker in 2026, and suddenly it's legendary. And here's the kicker: the haters, they're gonna buy it anyway. They'll complain about the design, don't moan about the $40 t-shirts. They'll roast Nike for being late to party and then no line up to grab Caitlyn's signature shoe the second it drops. Why? Because deep down they know this isn't just about style, it's about history. Being part of the Caitlyn Clark era is bigger than any logo critique, and you can't deny the marketing genius here. By rolling out the logo now and teasing the show, for 2026, Nike has locked fans into a 2-year hype cycle. Every step Caitlyn takes on the court, every viral highlight, every clutch shot, it's all building anticipation for that release. And when it finally comes, it won't just be a sneaker, it'll be the crown jewel movement have been simmering for years. So let's take stock. The logo is not blowing anyone's mind, but it's solid, and it'll probably grow on people. The merge overpriced, yes, but still selling, because Caitlyn Clark is bigger than price tags. The signature shoe, a game changer, making not just for Caitlyn but for the WNBA, for women's sports, for the entire culture. Sneakers. And that's why the haters are fuming, because every complaint, every side eye, every rose online only feeds a hype machine. Caitlyn Clark doesn't need universal love, she needs conversation, and she's got in spades. So the next time someone grumbles barrel logo been just fine, remind them fine is how legends start. Ordinary today, iconic tomorrow. And when no shoes drop in 2026, all the mare reactions are gonna flip into must-have desperation. Mark my words. Caitlyn Clark's logo may not be perfect, but, or brand, it's unstoppable. Nike's late, but they finally got the memo, and now everyone else who just have to keep up. So what do you think? Didn't Nike nail it or fumble it? Is $40 robbery, or are you learning of anyway? And most importantly, are you ready for Caitlyn's signature sneaker to shut the haters down once and for all? Because whether you're cheering or complaining, one thing's clear: Caitlyn Clark isn't as part of conversation. She is a conversation, and trust me, this is only the beginning. See you the next meltdown. All right, let's push us even further, because a Caitlyn Clark sneaker saga isn't just about logo or an overpriced t-shirt. It's about the evolution. Athlete from rookie phenom to global brand. What Nike has done here, or his plan, a flag. And where do you love or hate it when you think the logos bland or brilliant? The fact remains, Caitlyn Clark is officially in the pantheon. And here's where the drama really gets juicy, because sneaker deals in sports aren't just contracts, they're coronations. They tell you the companies believe in, who they're willing to bet millions on, and who they see as a future. Caitlyn Clark get her own signature shoe, is Nike, and out into the world. This is the one, this is our investment. And that announcement sent shockwaves. Think back on history. Michael Jordan wasn't the only rookie with promise when he signed with Nike, but he was the one they crowned. That shooting does change basketball, it changed culture. And while I'm not saying Caitlyn, she will literally birth global sneak revolution, the fact is she's in a position no WNBA player's been in before. Sabrina Ionescu as a shoe sure, Angel Recess as a deal, Io Wilson assigned, but Caitlyn Clark type level. That's something different. This isn't just about the WNBA. It's about mainstream sports fans, kids who don't even watch women's basketball, but know Caitlyn Clark. That's the rare kind of recognition Nike lives for. Now let's get real. Nike almost blew this, they dragged their feet. Fans have been screaming for Caitlyn to get a signature line for over a year now. Every viral highlight, every sold-out arena, every bump in TV ratings, all was basically free advertising, and Nike let it sit. They watched, they waited, they tested the waters. Meanwhile, Caitlyn fans, rather designing their own merch, buying bootleg cheese, creamed their own Clark-inspired graphics, because Nike wasn't delivering that gap. That silence was disrespectful. So when a logo finally dropped, fans didn't just react or design, they reacted to the delay. This wasn't just a logo reveal. It was a moment of finally about time, which is why the $40 shirt priced down. Even more fans felt like they've been ignored for months. And when Nike finally offered something, it came the premium price tag. It's almost like they underestimated the loyalty of Caitlyn fanbase, assuming people just fork over cash no matter what. Spoiler, they did, but not without call it robbery first. And let's be clear, this logo isn't bad. If anything, it looks like it belongs to a luxury brand, something you'd see this on a leather bag or Boss and a perfume bottle. It's refined, it's high class. But does its green basketball? That's the debate. Sabrina logo feels like movement, energy, a swoosh within swoosh. Angel Reasons logo feels bold, brash, playful, exactly, or personality. Caitlyn, it's safe, it's controlled, is the kind of thing that will have a nominal on lifestyle gear, but on the court fans are divided. But here's where Nike's brilliance might actually show through. The not trying to make Caitlyn Clark deep, loud brand. They are positioning her as a timeless brand. Thing about Federer, think about Arena. Their logos went wild. They were elegant, simple, almost regal. Caitlyn brand is headed in that direction. It may not pop right now, but in 10 years you'll see it and immediately associate with greatness. Of course, none of this matters if the shoe doesn't deliver. The 2026 drop has to be iconic. It can't just be another generic basketball sneaker. When logos slapped on the tongue as a feel like Caitlyn, sharp, confident, capable of pulling up from the logo and drilling a three in your face. If Nike nails that, game over. If they don't, the haters are going to have a field day. And let's talk about those haters for a second, because they're part of the story. To every great athlete has a wave of detractors that fuel their rise. Caitlyn Clark has been no exception. From a moment she entered the WNBA, she's been under attack. To hype, too cocky, too many minutes on ESPN, too much spotlight. And yet here we are, with Nike making her the centerpiece of their women's basketball strategy. The hate, ironically, has only made her bigger, because every time someone complains about her, it keeps her name in the headlines. That's why haters fuming isn't just a catchy title, is the reality. People who can't stand Caitlyn Clark are now faced with the fact that she's unavoidable. Her logos on t-shirts, her shoes on the horizon, her highlights are still going viral. Her brand, as many whether they like it or not, and deep down there buy the merge anyway. That's the dirty little secret. They'll complain about $40 shirt, but they'll want one though. Roast the logo, but they'll want to sue, because being part of the Caitlyn Clark story, even as a critic, is still being part history. Now let's zoom out. What does this mean for the WNBA? A lot, because let's be honest, the league has been desperate for this kind of mainstream breakthrough. Yes, Sabrina, she was a milestone. Yes, Wilson deserves one too. But Caitlyn Clark's reach extends beyond the WNBA diehards. This is a type of move that puts women's basketball sneaker culture in the malls, into high schools, in the middle school gyms, where kids are deciding shoes or one wear when they lace up. Picture it, 10 years from now, a kid says, yeah, my first pair of basketball shoes were in Jordans, they were Clarks. That's legacy. That's exactly what is betting on. And don't underestimate the timing of this either. 2026 isn't random. By then, Caitlyn will hopefully have shaken off injuries, found her groove, and proven she's not just hype, she's dominance. Nike isn't as launching a shoe, they're launching a story arc. From hype rookie detested warrior to established star. 2026 will be the combination. The shoe won't just be about performance, it'll be about narrative. But here's the danger: Nike as a deliver. If the shoe and the being a clunky, uninspired model, the backlash will be merciless. Fans are waited too long. The expectations are too high. Caitlin Clark isn't just another name on roster. She's a phase of an entire movement now. You know this, they can't afford to get lazy. So let's lay it out. The logo's a first step. The merchandise is a testing ground. But the shoe, that's the crown jewel, and haters, they're just background noise and story of a player who went from college and stationed the global icon. Because what do you think the logo is made or? Magnificent. Where do you think $40 is insane or just cause a fandom? One thing's undeniable. Caitlin Clark's brands is not going anywhere. So let me ask you, will you be first in line when Caitlin's signature shoe drops? Or will you be one the haters pretending you don't care while secretly refreshing a Nike app? Either way, history's about be made all. Right, let's crank this up even more because the Caitlin Clark logo and upcoming sneaker aren't just about fashion or even basketball, they're about power. They are about influence. They're about who gets to find the future women's sports. And right now, Caitlin Clark is sitting dead center in that storm. Thing about how insane this moment really is. A rookie who hasn't even played for healthy seasons yet already is a kind of brand gravity that took other athletes decades to build. That's not normal, that's generational. And Nike, for all they're dragging their feet and fumbling around, has finally admitted what fans already knew: Caitlin Clark isn't just a future the WNBA, she's a future of their bottom line. But here's the spicy part: the critics aren't wrong when they say Nike treat her differently. You look at Sabrina Ionesco's signature issue bowl campaign, a logo that actually feels alive. Angel Reese, boom, instant branding. Caitlin Cricket, until the public purse got too loud to ignore. That's where the resentment comes in. Fancy Caitlin is being disrespected by the brand that should have crowded the second she was drafted. And even now, with the logo finally out, the signature shoes still years away, it feels like Nike is playing catch up instead of leading the way. And $40 teacher fiasco that exhibit A in how tone-deaf corporations can be. Nike knows Caitlin Clark supporters are rabbit loyal and willing to spend, but Dougie them right out again. That's how you turn excitement into skepticism. Fans want support Caitlin, not feel like they're getting hustled. It's the difference between growing community and exploiting one. But here's where Nike accidentally struck gold: the controversy itself, the overpriced shirts, the bland logo complaints, the endless debates about whether it's iconic or boring. All of it just fuels a hype machine, because now Caitlin logo isn't just a design, it's a conversation. Every tweet, every Instagram post, every YouTube review arguing about whether it's good or bad keeps Caitlin brand alive in people's minds. And in the world of marketing, that's priceless. Now, let's zoom in on what this means for Caitlin herself. She's already under ridiculous amount pressure everywhere she goes. She's expected to sell out arenas, boost ratings, carrier team, and somehow represent a league as its golden child. That's enough weight to break anyone, but now a Disney grandpa empire to that list. Add been face of Nike's women's basketball division. Suddenly, she's not just playing basketball, she's running a global brand. And that's the paradox. Caitlin Clark right now, on the one hand, she's still just trying to navigate her early years in league, dealing with injuries, with defenses that target her, with teammates trying to figure out how to play around her. So Dial, on the other hand, she's being elevated into this mythic figure whose initials are going to sit next to the likes of MJ, Kobe, and LeBron in the sneaker world. That's the kind of duality. They can either for legends or burn them out. And let's not forget, the sneaker game is ruthless. For every Jordan isn't forgotten names whose signature shoes barely made a ripple. Fans will buy Caitlin first pair out of curiosity, hype, or pure loyalty. But what happens after that? Was a design actually hold up? Will perform on the court? Will kids actually wear them in high school gyms and say these are Clark's? That's the long game Nike's gambling on. And it's not guaranteed. Now here's where the drama gets even juicier, because sneaker coach, or isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about lifestyle. Jordan became streetwear. Cove became must-have even for people who never touched a court. Caitlin Clark shoe has the potential to break out the same way. Imagine young women wearing them to school now because of hoop, but because they want to rub Caitlin as a cultural icon. Imagine fashion collaboration, limited drops, colorways that celebrate moments from a career. That's how you build a dynasty. That's how you go from athlete to legend. But here's the question. Does a WNBA even realize what's about to happen? Because Nike sees the future. Fancy the future. Caitlin herself probably sees it too, but the league, sometimes it feels like they're still playing catch-up, still treating players like they're just basketball pieces instead of cultural forces. Caitlin's sneaker isn't about her, it's about whether the league is ready to ride the wave she's creating or whether it'll drown his own lack of vision. And don't get it twisted, haters are part of the story. To every great sneaker drop in history had his doubters. When the first Jordans came out, critics said they were too flashy, too expensive, too gimmicky. Now they're the most iconic shoes on the planet. Caitlin logo and upcoming shoe or following the same path. Right now people are rose in the design, mocking the teacher prices, saying it's nothing special. But fast forward 5 years and you'll see those same people scram when get their hands on limited editions, acting like they were fans all along. Because here's the dirty secret: hate is just love in disguise. If people are fuming, they're paying attention. If they're ranting about $40 shirts, it means they wanted one. If they compare her logo to luxury brands, even as an insult, it means no, it stands out. Caitlin Clark doesn't need universe approval, she needs obsession. And that's exactly what she's got. But let's also talk about the timeline. 2026 is both perfect and terrifying. Perfect because by then Caitlin will hopefully be fully healthy, more experienced, and settled as the unquestioned league. Your franchise. Terrifying because hype cycles move fast and fans don't like waiting. If Nike doesn't keep the energy live between now and then, the sneaker flop before even hit shelves. The logo a step one. But what step two? Will there be special drops, collaboration teasers? Nike can't coast.